The Imperial Security Bureau throughout Season 1 of Andor went from a position of complacency and mundane reporting in Episode 4 to leading the way against the rebel insurgency towards the end of the season. However, when the people of Ferrix began to riot against Captain Tigo's Imperial forces in the final episode of Season 1 and lost control, how badly would this have gone down for the ISB and the Empire? For this video, I'll look into some of the implications for the Imperials involved and those who would seize an opportunity. But let's look at how this all came about throughout the series and identify some mistakes the Empire made. The meeting scenes set inside the central office on Coruscant are known in canon as the ISB board. And as we saw throughout the season, the ISB supervisors met to discuss future plans and events within their sectors under their remit of responsibility. The problem the Empire were facing but understood little about was the insurgent attacks were coordinated with no regard to the sector boundaries between each supervisor's sector or sectors. As events were discussed at these meetings, it appeared many of the supervisors made the mistake of solely confining their thinking to their sectors with no or little regard to cross-boundary insurgent activity. Supervisor Meero, who was keen to make her mark on the ISB board, quickly identified this problem after piecing together various items of intelligence regarding stolen Imperial equipment. The problem with this was the Empire were responding too late to an already growing problem across the galaxy. Supervisor Blevin made things difficult for Meero's investigation by refusing to allow Meero access to the Ferrix report, and accused her of violating their sector protocols in the wake of the Eldania attack. Despite Major Partagas realizing the Milana sector had become a distraction for Blevin and reassigned it to Meero, importantly, Blevin was acting as the handler of the deep undercover agent, Cloris, who was posing as Mon Mothma's personal driver. However, having overcome her internal rivalry with Blevin, Meero's case to go after Cassian Andor still had to be brought before Colonel Yularen, who questioned her rather large investment but was convinced by Major Partagas's influence. To this point, her determination to prove her case that in fact there was a galaxy-wide insurgency set her aside from her peers. Meero's continual challenges from Blevin, Yularen, Legret and even Major Partagas isolated her within the ISB. As Blevin warns her when she requests the Ferrix file, despite all of her difficulties, she ignored them and continued her agenda to find Andor and Axis, and taking a high-profile risk which could backfire. Unfortunately for Meero, the rebel insurgents were a step ahead of her after the supervisor arrived on Ferrix. Despite her efforts to interrogate rebels close to Andor, she was unprepared for the uprising that ignited from the death of Andor's mother, resulting in a total disaster for the Imperial forces to manage. With neither Andor or Axis captured during Meero's drill down on Ferrix, the repercussions of her failure would appear to be serious and embarrassing for the ISB, including Partagas and Yularen's reputations. The knives would have certainly come out on all sides. After all, Blevin lost the Milana sector to her, Legret didn't like how she operated, and Young, who was a rebel spy, would profit from seeing her demise. Even Major Partagas would find it difficult to defend her, especially now Yularen's investment on Ferrix produced negative results. In light of Dedra Meero's failure on Ferrix, she would have lost a substantial amount of her credibility on the board, and it seems a number of possibilities will arise from the second season. Would she be demoted, or would Meero remain as a supervisor but with less influence? In a recent interview, Denise Goff revealed that she gets to wear a different costume in Season 2, which she mentioned is very similar to a Mon Mothma costume, and so this snippet of information provides various possibilities on how her character evolves, and we can read into that what we like. For more Imperial Perspective videos, please give a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, have a great day, and as always, long live the Empire.